everyone. Lisa Haven here. Well, Anthony Fauci is starting to go downhill very, very fast. In fact, his own people are starting to turn on him. His former assistant health secretary has just come out with an epic bombshell about the authoritarian dictator, and you're not going to believe what he had to say. And it was so bad that Anthony Fauci had to go 90 miles an hour into damage control, which ended miserably, in my opinion. But before I get into the report, just a quick break. Keto has been a hot topic in the weight loss community for years now. Myself, along with thousands of other people, have personally experienced the weight loss and health benefits of keto. But we have a secret. We're not on the keto diet. Instead, we use amazing new keto powder. Keto with Lisa is a powdered form of the most ketogenic MCT oil called C8. It helps give you many of the benefits of elevated ketones without all the rigid complexities of the keto diet. Within weeks of taking it, 3 things happened. First, it helped me to control my appetite and really helped me with weight loss. Secondly, I had more energy and just seemed ready to take on the day. And third, I even saw a major improvement in my mental focus. If you want to start experiencing these amazing benefits that I personally have experienced, then you want to check out ketowithlisa.com right now. This stuff is amazing. Their powder is amazing, and I can't stop recommending it. In fact, right now, you can get up to 51% off on their website. And on top of that, there is a 60-day money-back guarantee. So if you're not happy with the product for any reason, you have that 60-day guarantee to back you up. But on top of that, kind of like an extra added bonus, for every order that you purchase, Keto with Lisa will donate a meal to a hungry child in need. And that's just kind of the icing on the cake. And also, Keto with Lisa has free shipping, free coaching, and a free new e-report, the top 14 ketogenic foods. So get to Keto with Lisa right now and take advantage of that special offer. If you want more information on this, it's found in the description box below. All right, back to the broadcast. All right, so just how are Anthony Fauci's own people starting to turn on our authoritarian dictator? We'll take a listen to what his former assistant secretary had to say about, well, Anthony Fauci. Take a listen.
Last thing, you worked with Dr. Fauci in the Trump administration. He is fighting back against criticism of him and what he said about a number of different things, battles with different lawmakers and senators. He said this weekend, it's easy to criticize, but they're really criticizing science because I represent science. I just want to get your reaction to that.
I think the ego is really expanding beyond what I saw. Look, Tony was a good colleague when I worked with him, but he's become much more political. And it is a fact that the NIH, his institute, funded gain-of-function research. That's a fact. It's not a rumor. It's not a lie by anyone in the Senate. So why do you say that's a problem? I think he needs to stick to the area where he's most knowledgeable, and that is about vaccine development. He's not knowledgeable about liberty and rights or about public health measures. If he sticks to his firm ground, he'll be a good resource for the country. And that's probably all I have to say.
So there you have it. He dropped a couple bombshells that even Anthony Fauci refuses to say, like, NIH funded gain of function research. Hey, and he's got an ego issue, you think? It's almost every single day that this guy is on some kind of television network. It's almost as if all he cares about is, keeping this pandemic going as long as he can so he can be in the spotlight. Isn't it interesting that even people on his side of the fence are starting to call it out that this guy used to work with him, right? Not only that, but even somebody who's not on the right, Piers Morgan, is calling him out. Here we got dailymail.co.uk. This was written by Piers Morgan, and here's what it says. Flip-flop Fauci's partisan political point scoring shows he's more interested in promoting himself than saving lives. He should park his gigantic ego and stay off TV and shut up. Amen. Here's what he says. I've never heard Anthony Fauci's cell phone voicemail greeting, but I imagine it says, yes, I'll come on your show. For someone whose day job is supposed to be leading American scientific and medical war against COVID, he seems to have an incredible amount of spare time for self-promotional media interviews. Amen. Barely a week seems to go by without him popping up on TV or newspaper or magazine ad. And as time has gone on, Fauci becomes more and more brazenly political in those interviews since the Biden administration has taken over. And I say a big fat amen to that. There's his own people calling him out. Now, we know that Rand Paul and Senator Cruz have been calling him out for some time. Here's the latest thing done by Senator Cruz, dailymail.com. Said Senator Ted Cruz. Cruz brands Fauci the most dangerous bureaucrat in the history of America and says COVID SARS gain-of-function contradictions could land him in prison for 5 years. And I can't say I disagree with the senator, because when he came out and denied that they were funding any gain-of-function research, it then turns out the NIH admitted that they did exactly that. And therefore, the senator is questioning, well, did he not lie to Congress? And if that is the case, then he deserves prison time. And in my opinion, he absolutely does deserve prison time. And I agree with Ted Cruz. Well, immediately after all that, of course, Anthony Fauci goes into damage control. But meanwhile, his ego is really, really kind of exploded above and beyond. Or should I say, I think ego is a very superficial word for him. I would say a power-hungry authoritarian. I think the power of all of that has really gotten to his head. He wants more and more power to demand and tell you and I what to do. And it's never ending. It's always more. After vaccines, it'll be, I don't know, fill in the blank. Who knows? Imagine, I don't know, our worst nightmare, if you will, with this man in charge. The more power he gets, the more he is corrupted. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. And I think that's why we're seeing him say things like this, right? Fauci, people who criticize me are criticizing science. Then we have here, here's where he actually said it. Let me play the clip for you here. Take a listen.
Lives. I mean, anybody who's looking at this carefully realizes that there's a distinct anti-science flavor to this. So if they get up and criticize science, nobody's going to know what they're talking about. But if they get up and really aim their bullets at Tony Fauci, well, people could recognize there's a person there, so it's easy to criticize. But they're really criticizing science because I represent science. That's dangerous. To me, that's more dangerous than the slings.
So to criticize science, they're really criticizing him because he's the people figure of science. That sounds very godlike to say something like that, especially with this guy who's flipped-flop on everything under the sun. And that's not all he says. He also he went on to say on the Hill references this, and he said it in that same interview. Fauci says lies and threats are noise. And what he actually means here is when he says that is that lies and threats are not necessarily lies and threats. It's anyone who questions him, anyone who asks why he's doing something in particular. That is literally what he is calling noise. This man is on a serious power trip and is wanting more and more of it. And unfortunately, the Biden administration is giving it to him. Not only that, but this is supposed to be a guy who's all about health and focus on pandemics. That's supposed to be his goal. Study vaccines, study pandemics, study the whole 9 yards. Instead, he's become a political figure for the leftist radical Democrats. And he's become very political. And this next clip I'm going to show you proves it. This is a guy who's supposed to be about saving lives, though I believe he's far from it. However, he goes on to quote about Ted Cruz in January 6th in response to what Ted Cruz said about Fauci going to jail. Well, if you lie to Congress, Fauci, that's kind of what happens. But take a listen how this guy is straight up political, and it's not really about health to him, in my opinion. Take a listen to what he says here.
Senator Cruz told the Attorney General you should be prosecuted.
Yeah. I'd have to laugh at that. I should be prosecuted. What happened on January 6th, Senator?
Look at the arrogance on that face. He just goes into straight up laughing because a lot of the times I think he knows he's guilty, and he's laughing and going a full political route over something that he knows nothing about. Nothing. And this is a guy that's a figurehead on multiple television shows and the whole 9 yards. Anyhow, I believe he's trying to do damage control and failing miserably. Anyhow, thanks again for tuning in. Please subscribe to the channel. They've been removing people en masse. I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.